Tupac. Ain't no stopping at the red lights. I'm sideways, thug life, motherfucker, crime pays. Or Biggie Smalls. I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8 38s, 9 9s, 10 Mac 10s. The shits never end. You can't touch my riches, even if you had MC Hammer in them 357 bitches. Which one is better, Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac, Machiavelli the Don? The age-old question. People have been asking this question since these brothers been out. One died in 96, one died in 97. It's 2025. People still debating who is better. We're going to end the debate today, 7 Day Theory. Hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
You tuned in to the 7 Day Theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 7 Day Theory. Hard body, hard spirit. Check this. Tupac versus Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G. Who is the better artist? Who did it better? Everybody got their opinions. Everybody got who they think is better than the other. Right here on the 7 Day channel. We're going to get into it. We're going to end the debate today. Now, first starting off, let's get into their albums when they was alive. Notorious B.I.G. only had one album when he was alive. Unfortunately, both these brothers passed way too young. Way too young. All right, so he only had one album, which was a fucking classic album, just classic from beginning to end. Notorious B.I.G. had Ready to Die. That came out in 94. Tupac, he was already a star by then. By then, Tupac was doing movies. He had Me Against the World out. He had Tupacalypse Now. That was his first album. Strictly for My Niggas. That was his second album. Tupac was already flaming hot. Pause. When Notorious B.I.G. dropped Ready to Die, it changed the rap game. His style, his delivery, his wordplay changed the game. This album is beyond a classic. It's set in stone. It's a classic, right? It put him on the map. That Juicy, I still listen to Juicy today. I still listen to Big Pop. I love it when you call me Big Pop, but throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love that video. I used to watch, MTV used to play videos early in the morning before I went to school. I was in elementary, grade school. I used to listen to that video almost every day before school. Love that song, love that video. Notorious B.I.G. If y'all don't know, they both are really New York rappers. Even though Tupac moved around a lot, he did live in New York for a good period of time. And in case y'all don't know, his first rap name that he called himself was MC New York. That's the only other rap name he went by, besides Tupac, of course. And then Machiavelli, he went by that later. But yeah, Tupac went by MC New York at first. And obviously he didn't put no albums out as MC New York. But when he first started rapping, that was his rap name. And it's ironic that he ended up being known for one of the artists that had one of the biggest beefs with New York. Even though it wasn't with all of New York, it was just with a few people. The East versus West thing was huge, right? And a lot of that was trumped up by the media, right? It was blown up by the media. A lot of it was magazines, MTV, all that shit. But Notorious B.I.G., let's get into him. I believe, see, these are two different artists. A lot of people like to compare, right? Everybody's their own individual. These artists were kind of completely different as far as the content that they rapped about, which the content was kind of similar, but their delivery, their style, totally two different styles. Notorious B.I.G., I love Notorious B.I.G. for his wordplay, his delivery, his voice was unique. Nobody sounds like him. And like Notorious B.I.G. was the type of artist that when you heard him rapping a song, he would have bars that you would be like, oh shit, what did you hear? You'd have to rewind it back to catch the wordplay, to catch what he said. And that's the type of artist he was. Like every time he touched the mic, it was like, what, did you hear what the fuck he said? Like, did you hear what this nigga just said? Ill, dope, so dope, right? Tupac was a different kind of artist now. Tupac was not he could give you bars like that, right? He could make you be like, oh shit, what the fuck you just say? But Tupac is more known for, in my opinion, for touching your heart, touching your soul. Tupac was a man of the people, right? He was a man. He was a people's people, a people's champ. I call him. He made an impact on people. Like he touched people in like life, like songs like Brenda's Got a Baby. He really spoke to the struggle, even though Notorious B.I.G spoke to the trouble as well. Juicy loved that. He talked about from growing up in the ghetto and then making it big, right? Tupac, he was really authentic. Now, Notorious B.I.G, he wasn't as authentic as Tupac. Just off of hearing what he's talking about and him as a person, right? He wasn't as authentic as Tupac. Like, I believed everything Tupac said. When he said it, when he rapped it, I believed that he believed it or I believed it. I believed what he was saying was true, right? Biggie, he was a little bit different. He spoke, like he would say he had a couple of sus lines, right? He was that type of rapper. He would throw some sus shit out there. And he would talk about all the drug dealing and all this. And while I think it has been documented that, yeah, he was a drug dealer. Now, but was he pushing weight like he was Scarface? I mean, probably not. I don't know for sure, but probably not. But that's what he spoke about in his raps. And I like the honest. I love Biggie's honesty, man. Like he's what he said, big, black and ugly. Like he owned who he was. He knew he was big. He owned it. He knew what he looked like. He owned it. He had a great sense of humor. And it's crazy that these two artists, right, that people debate about, they started out as friends. Tupac wanted to sign and was going to sign Biggie to Thug Life. If y'all remember, before the Outlaws, Tupac's group was Thug Life. They put out one album, Thug Life Volume 1, raw album. That was another reason why Tupac was upset with Biggie, was because he didn't sign with him. He went and Puff got in the middle of that, right? And Puff ended up signing him. But they're friends. They have a classic freestyle together while they were in a concert live. It's recorded. You can find it on YouTube. Tupac and Biggie freestyle in concert live, right? You can find it on YouTube. One of the rawest verses from each of those artists. That's freestyle where Biggie is like, where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn? I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8. That's when he did that shit. And then Tupac, as soon as Biggie was done rapping, Tupac comes in. What'd he say? I thank the Lord for my many blessings. Don't stress and keep a vest for protection from the power of my Smith & Wesson. All my niggas in the pen, here we go again. Ain't nothing separating us but my Mac 10. Born in the ghetto as a hustler. That shit. Sitting sideways, motherfucker. Yeah, that shit. Epic, right? They rap, they were friends. Snoop was friends with them too. But that shooting changed everything. And Tupac really thought that Biggie was his friend, and he thought that Biggie should have warned, even though Biggie didn't have nothing to do with it. Supposedly he didn't have shit to do with it. He thought that Biggie should have warned him, because Biggie is claiming at the time. Biggie did an interview. It's been released. It's on YouTube. Tupac did the interview. It's on. It didn't get released while he was alive, but after he passed, it got released on YouTube, where he talks about how Biggie was claiming like he's the king of New York, right? He runs New York, but he didn't know anything about the street shit that's going on with Tupac. But this is your city. You saying you the king of New York, you should know this shit, right? So he was kind of mad at it. And look, they was young, man. They was young. I think if Tupac and Biggie would have got blessed with a longer life, I truly believe they would have made up, because they really was friends. And a lot of people around Tupac before he died, they spoke about him wanting to like reconcile shit. And Tupac, they had the Death Row East coming out. Tupac was working with other New York artists that he wasn't beefing with. And he wasn't against the whole East Coast. It was just a few, Biggie and a few other rappers, right? He made up with Nas. Nas told that story. Everybody told that story, how they met up before the MTV VMAs. or music awards. So I think they really would have ended up being cool if they would have been blessed with a longer life. So Tupac Shakur, the reason people still, he is the most impactful artist ever, I believe. Ever. Rapper, whatever. I think he's the most impactful artist to ever live. The reason for that is because we got to see him grow, right? He wasn't a Biggie. His first album was not a smash hit classic. He was on a lot of that. He was raised by a Panther. He grew up around the Panthers in their circles, hearing what they're talking about, learning the knowledge that they was giving everybody. He was a kid in these settings of the Black Panthers, right? His mom was in jail before she birthed him for fighting a case that had to do with the Black Panthers, which she beat. So he grew up around. He was definitely an out of the box thinker, a revolutionary, a real thinking man, right? He read, like, I know books. This is public knowledge, common knowledge, public knowledge. Like, I know books that Tupac read. Art of War, Machiavelli, The Prince, 48 Laws of Power. Like, Tupac read these books, and I know about it because he said it in interviews. I don't know not one book that Biggie done read. We can't really, never heard that one book that Biggie done read, right? And I think this is what separates the two artists. For one, the content of what Tupac was talking about and the realness of his records and the rawness and the underdog story, and like he could relate to almost damn near everybody, and he could relate to people who are struggling, people who are oppressed, people who face racism, right? He spoke to all these things. He spoke to the downtrodden, right? The lost souls. And also he spoke to people with ambition, because Tupac had enormous amount of ambition, right? 25, and he accomplished all what he did. But he wasn't a Biggie where his first album that came out was a smash hit. It wasn't. He was on that revolutionary Black Panther shit when he first came out. When he first came out, Tupacalypse Now, Strictly for My Niggas, was really not that. It wasn't the same type of content that he made later on, like In Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli. It was definitely different. And rapping at that time, he had a little bit different style. There was definitely a different style in rap and in his rap at that time. This is the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. So you really seen his progression. Like, each album, Tupac got better. Tupacalypse Now, Strictly for My Niggas, got better. From that one to Me Against the World, got better. His third album. From his third album to All Eyes on Me, his fourth album, smashed it out the park. Pause. He was just a shining star. Like, that album changed everything. Changed the game of music. All Eyes on Me was the first rap CD to be a double disc. He gave us a double disc, 2 CDs of straight fire. So, and then also, not only the content and the music that he's creating, he also was in movies. That made an impact. Then you take into account that he did a lot of interviews, and you got to see and got to hear how Tupac actually felt, and you got to know him personally, or at least what we know as far as what he shared in interviews, right? Because unless you're friends with him, you don't know exactly who he is. But what he shared with us was personal shit. Like, if you go back and watch them interviews, he touches on a lot of shit, a lot of personal shit. And he gave some great interviews. And I believe people fell in love with him for that. And he even said in an interview, you got to watch me blow up, got to watch me struggle, go to jail. He said, you're gonna watch me die. Like, he said all this shit on camera. Kind of like almost like a Truman Show type character, where like he's growing up in front of the world and everybody can see it, right? And that's kind of what happened. And sadly, everybody got to see his death, not literally, but the aftermath. It was the cars with the bullet holes and all that. And so yeah. So people all over the world, there's murals of Tupac. All over. I don't think any other rap artist has more murals than him. In Africa, they use him as a symbol of revolution, right? just his image. Like, just his image gives revolutionary, gives change. And he had one of the most, my favorite songs ever, Changes. I love that song. Love that song. It was actually a remake of a song. That was actually a remake. The beat and everything. He changed the beat a little bit, but it was a remake. Tupac Shakur was not just a rapper. He, like I said, he was a revolutionary. He was an actor. He was an activist. And the impact that he made was so crazy that when he passed, I never seen this ever before. When he passed, they had on Death Row Records, signed to Death Row Records, when he passed, they had an artist called The Realist. He shaved his head just like Tupac, had a bald head. He would wear the bandana just like Tupac wore it, and he called his rap name was The Realist, which is what Tupac said he was. He said he was the realest rapper, right? That's, everybody knows that's his thing. That's his slogan. They had an actual paid rapper on their budget, on their payroll, on their roster that was a carbon copy imitation of another artist that had just passed. I never seen that. I don't think we've ever seen that since. There's impersonators of Michael Jackson all over. They're not signed to the same record label that Michael Jackson was signed to and actually making records like that. They just imitate Michael Jackson, right? So, and even today, every rapper went through a Tupac stage. And when I say Tupac stage, I mean when they compared or said that they were like Tupac or they were Tupac, right? Or Tupac-ish. Boosie, the whole Boo-Pac, Soulja Boy, he cut his hair like how like Tupac had it in Juice. He cut his little with the little 360 line in his head. He went through his Pac era. 50 Cent remade hella Hail Mary. He made hella diss songs and all that imitated Tupac. Even today, Kendrick Lamar just dropped the album last year. He got a song where his cadence, his flow, the beat, everything sounded like it was written and performed by Pac. He raps like Pac, the same cadence, everything. So this artist, Tupac, is an artist that every other artist that came after him wants to attain to. And look at the artists that got popular after him, who were very similar. Ja Rule had the bandana, bald head. Like his image, even just his image, people copied, and people still copy today. DMX, he was wearing bandanas, bald head, right? Just his image alone, people want to duplicate and replicate. I think Tupac Shakur, I don't think there'll ever be another artist like Tupac Shakur. There'll definitely never be another human like him. I think there will never ever be another artist that has been more impactful, that is better, and that will be better than an artist than Tupac Shakur. Machiavelli. And look, I'm gonna say it. Tupac. I got Tupac over Biggie. Now, art is suggestive. It's subjective, right? So everybody has their own personal preference. But to me, if you compare all the albums, even the Life After Death, Biggie's that came out after he died, he got 2 albums. Life After Death did good, but it didn't do Machiavelli good. It didn't do All Eyes on Me good, right? But if you compare just the albums, Tupac got him. Tupac done sold more. He got more impactful songs. He got more songs. But salute to Biggie, man, because Biggie is a very, very close second. Very close second. Like I said, I think it's more personal preference. My personal preference, I believe Tupac is the greatest artist to ever live. So I'm always rock with Tupac towards any. I don't think anybody is greater than Tupac as far in rapping. And then look, and then then you can also compare the beef that they had. They had a rap battle. Even though Biggie did not participate, he put out that "Who Shot Your" song after Tupac got shot. Everybody says it was recorded before he got shot, but he still put it out, so it looked like he was talking about Tupac. Biggie never responded to the diss record that Tupac put out. And Tupac released one of the greatest diss records of all time. To me, it's the greatest diss record of all time. You got some close seconds like No Vaseline, Ether, which has Tupac saying vocals in that song, right? So I think that Ether was really inspired by Hit 'Em Up and Tupac. But so even in the battle, Tupac won. Tupac won hands down because there was no response. There wasn't even a battle. It was just Tupac whooping on Biggie lyrically. And still today to be one of the greatest hip hop records ever and since. I don't think there might have been some before it, but I definitely don't think that there's been any other diss record that's better than Hit 'Em Up. I got that as my number one diss record ever. Is Hit 'Em Up to me. And it's not even just him. He got the Outlaws on there. Even though I think if he would have just did another verse or two more verses, I think it would have been even better. But I fuck with the Outlaws, so I ain't minded. I wasn't mad at it. So yeah, more impactful, definitely Tupac. Like I said, he had movies. Biggie wasn't an actor, none of that shit. He didn't do no movies. Tupac had movies. He had art. He was a poet. He was a revolutionary, a thinker, a Black Panther, like a new age Black Panther. Even though he didn't claim back, like he wasn't pushing the Black Panther movement. He was a Black Panther because that's his family tree. That's his mom, right? And that's how he grew up. So, the age-old question, who is better? I believe hands down, it's unanimous. Not unanimous, but I think the majority of people will say that Tupac is a better artist than Biggie. Like I said, just look at the albums alone. And then they was beefing. They had a battle. You look at the battle. Tupac won that. Tupac is more impactful. There's not any other artists that are coming out, right? That say no artists that are coming out got a Biggie stage. But every artist in the past, almost every artist, had a Tupac stage. Like nobody is trying to replicate Biggie's image, really. You had who was it? Gorilla Black. He sounded and looked a little bit like Biggie. But that was like really the only one. Shine sounded like Biggie, right? That's why he got real poppy because he sounded like Biggie. But nobody is naming like it's not like I said with Boosie, a whole Bupac. Even the name they try to replicate. I don't see no other artists claiming Notorious B.I.G. I'm the new Notorious B.I.G. I'm the new Pac. They be saying I'm the new Pac, right? I don't hear none of this talk as far as with Biggie saying people say I'm the new Biggie Smalls or I'm Biggie. I never heard none of that shit. But in all due respect to Biggie, because I think he is a legend. Both of these brothers are legends. But Biggie definitely did his thing. I just think Tupac was definitely a more impactful artist. And it's crazy that he was going to be signed he was going to be in Tupac's group. But once again, Puff got in the middle. And we don't know. Puff could have had something to do with Tupac's murder. We don't know. That's still ongoing. He's still in jail. Puffy really owes his whole success, for real, to Biggie Smalls. If it wasn't for Biggie Smalls, Bad Boy Records wouldn't be shit. Biggie carried that shit on his back. Carried Bad Boy Rap. He really pushed the movement, really pushed the label to unseen heights. The Hypnotized video that he shot it. I think he actually passed before it got released, I believe. That was amazing. He really put, if it wasn't, and then even after he died, Puffy, all his shit was about talking about Biggie. The whole I'll Be Missing You song, that whole album after Biggie passed and all that, that was going off the back of what Biggie did and talking about Biggie. So y'all let me know in the comments who y'all got. Who do y'all got? Biggie for who is the better artist to you? Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G, or Tupac Shakur, Machiavelli the Don. Fun fact about my channel, 7 Day Theory. That's an Easter egg too, and one of the inspirations for my name. The 7 Day Theory for my channel name was because Tupac had the Machiavelli CD, which was probably my favorite CD of his ever albums. It's called Machiavelli the Dawn, the 7 Day Theory. That's an Easter egg. That's where I got that's one of the inspirations to my channel. It also has to do with recovery, has to do with God created the earth in 7 days. So yeah, that's a little Easter egg to that, right? To just a little shout out to my favorite rapper, one of my favorite people of all time, Tupac Shakur. Y'all let me know in the comments though, what y'all think. Do y'all think Tupac is the greater artist or Biggie? Let me know in the comments and let me know why. Why do you feel that way? If you don't know why and you just want to say Biggie or Tupac, comment Tupac or Biggie, whichever one you like. I'm gonna see who got more comments, and we'll do it that way. A little poll in the comments, right? Don't forget to like, share. If you're not subscribed, 7 Day Theory, I drop videos every day. It's not just a name, it's not just a brand. This is a lifestyle channel. We got memberships now, $1.99 a month. Lives, I go live probably like twice, 2 or 3 times a week. We got super chats in the live. We got super thanks in the live. If you want to support the channel, Cash App, money sign, the 7 Day Theory, 7 spelled with the letter 7 and EVEN. Memberships, like I said, if you want to support the channel too, we got memberships, $1.99 a month. You get custom loyalty badges, custom emojis made by me, both of them, and then you get member shout outs at the end of videos. Keep your head up and your eyes open. I'm out.